Hi, and welcome to the Northwest Carp blog. Today I'm floater fishing for carp. Perhaps I should have called this advanced floater fishing for carp, because the fish in this particular lake are very difficult to hook on the surface. Although it's a well stocked and hungry water, these fish have seen it all before and they know exactly how to avoid a hook. I'm freelining for these fish today because they don't like a controller in the water. Every time I cast one out, they stop taking mixers and they don't start again until I wind in. They literally are that paranoid. They know exactly how to inspect a bait and they mouth baits on a regular basis to make sure they're not attached to anything. Freelining is the best way to get a bait amongst these incredibly smart surface feeding carp. Even a single fake mixer hitting the water can make them back off a bit. I've spotted a few fish and fired out some mixers, and they've started coming up pretty quickly. Usually I like to build the confidence, but I can't help having a cheeky cast to see if I can get myself a quick result. As you can see, a carp comes up for the fake mixer side on and mouths the bait. Hooking a fish very much depends on which direction the carp approaches your bait and how your bait behaves in the water. Sometimes your line can drag your mixer in a different direction to the freebies, and the carp will spot this. The mixer needs to behave exactly the same as the free baits. If it does, they'll inspect it at the very least, and if they are competing hard enough, I'll get a hook up. If the carp comes up and mouths the bait, the chance will be missed. It's that final line. Let's take a quick look at the setup I'm using today. Today, as you can see, I'm floater fishing. That's what I'm using. A fake dog biscuit. That's been cut down, trimmed at the top so that it doesn't sit too high in the water, because I found if you don't trim it down, the fish are able to distinguish it from a normal mixer. So I've cut it down so that it just rides nice in the water. Size 10 hook, which is super glued on. The line is 8 pound Drennan double strength. That's about 6 foot long, that length of line, and it's loop to looped onto my 12 pound mono. So just free lining, that's all the casting weight I've got. So I can cast it about 2 or 3 rod lengths, but that's enough because the fish are coming quite close in. And as you can see from the fish I catch today, I've had a couple, done quite well. It works a treat. Happy days. After missing that quick chance, I put the rod down for a while and concentrated on building the carp's confidence. I did this by feeding mixers little and often. Not only does it get the fish taken with more confidence, but over time more carp are likely to join in, which is exactly what I want: competition. Eventually I had the carp taken well enough to introduce a hook bait, but again a carp came in from the side, mouthing the bait and feeling the line, and this resulted in another mischance. What the hell? I had to play cat and mouse with these fish for quite a while before eventually I hooked a suicidal mirror that was wolfing down the biscuits. This fish came at my hook bait from behind, so it didn't see or feel a line until it was too late. With only an 8-pound double strength hook link, I had to play the fish carefully. Fortunately there are no snags, so I was able to wear this one down until eventually I slipped the net under my prize. And what a prize it was! A lovely fully scaled mid-double mirror, a great reward for me persistence today. This one's a beauty. £15, 6 ounces. Of course on one of those fake chum mixers, fish free line on the surface. Got them going on the top. Excellent. With one fish in the bag, I could put the rod down again and just concentrate on feeding them little and often. By now the local bird life had gained enough confidence to come in and start pinching mixers. Over the session they'd come and go as I'd feed them off. They didn't stop the carp from taking, and eventually I had the fish back to the stage where I could get another bite. As you can see from the film, one pair of female mallards were a right pain in the backside. They both kept rampaging through my swim, grabbing as many baits as they could, and I'm sure I'd have caught my second fish a lot sooner had they not been around. I carried on feeding regardless of the birds. In fact, I increased the feed when they came in, because the quicker they filled themselves up with dry biscuits, the quicker they'd leave me alone. It took a while, but eventually I hooked up a second carp. Again I played this one lightly. The rod I'm using is a new Carp Twin Tip Plus. It has two top sections, one of a 1.75 pound test curve and one of 2.2 pound test curve. I've got the 2.2 pound test curve section on today, and it's proven to be a fantastic rod for floater fishing. The rod has a lovely through action and it's ideally suited to the kind of line I'm using today. This fish was smaller than the first one, so I managed to get it to the bank a bit quicker. I was happy enough to get myself a second bite. The little and often loose feeding is hard work, and you really do earn your floater caught carp when you fish this way. I hope you've enjoyed this quick look at my floater fishing for carp. It's hard to cast when you've got so little weight at the hook end, and it's even harder to get your mixer to behave naturally if there's any kind of wind or drift on the water. Persistence is the key, and if you keep at it, the chances will come. That's all for now. Hit the like and subscribe buttons if you like what you've seen and you want to see some more. Until next time, tight lines and be lucky. Only a little one, this one. £8 6 ounces. Taken off the top on a free-land fake dog biscuit. Happy days.